goes. I'm playing Dwarfs today. Isn't that fun? Should be pretty interesting. We have some fun strats for sure between gyrocopters, bombers, some sick range units, lots of very sturdy infantry. And it is going to be a tryharding stream today. Can I get a win with the dwarves? We'll see. Sheep of the Night, happy to have you here. And my opponent has arrived. Their faction today is unknown. They're going to be counterpicking me. And we're going to be on Bray Valley, so should be good. I did manage to win with two, mid-tier factions. Dwarves I generally regard to be pretty bad, but maybe if I play them just right, they'll be good. Pope Patty, hello. Landmark. Short stream. Not the puns already. Yeah, can dwarves recruit non-dwarf units? I think this is dwarf maxing. Never mind, Felix. To be a true dwarf max, you have to not take Felix. Crazy. But yeah, I think I have a few very fun strategies. Will they be amazing? Will they be garbage? Only time will tell. But definitely one thing that dwarves do, they test out people's rushing capability. And in the current meta, there's not that many heavy rushes. So maybe the dwarves clutch it. Goblin Hero meta. Goblin Hero meta, pretty fun. If only they were not so garbage. Nurgle event. I almost picked Nurgle for today, but I feel like I've been doing too many Nurgle streams. What's a good next faction though? Back to Bretonia, Demons of Chaos, maybe some Empire, Cathay, Lizards. If I skip a lot of the meta factions, I can play all of the weak ones once every 2.5 weeks-ish. Khorne, Dark Elves, and Greenskins. Play versus Khorne. Sure, it should be interesting. Khorne is still alright. They got a few things that are a little scary. A lot of crazy amounts of armor piercing, that's for sure. But I think we can give them trouble. Combined arms. Combined arms is actually working out pretty well. It worked for Kislev, worked for Chaos Dwarves, although you do have to mix it up every once in a while. Khorne should be pretty interesting. I think if I slam dunk 2 of these dudes in, I'm pretty happy. Is Belagar's Oathstone good in multiplayer? I think it saw very rare play like 5 years ago in Warhammer 2 Land Battle. In Domination, melee footlords are unfortunately so out of the meta. And the Oathstone's so expensive that you don't really see it. Sad times indeed, I know. Alright. Ooh, that's a good perfect spend. If there's one thing that's great about dwarves, it's how easily they can perfect spend. What a luxury that other factions do not provide. Yeah, Khorne's a spicy meatball. But not too bad. Not too bad. In fact, if I take If it takes some of these, maybe Khorne's just chump change. There we go. Chump change. No. But yeah, I think when you play as dwarves, if you just don't get too fancy about your shenanigans, they can be quite scary. Ooh, and people always have to worry about that gyrocopter spam. 3 thunder barges this stream. Thunder barge maxing. It's definitely quite terrifying. So right now we have what? 7 signups. If you don't get more signups soon, I might need to make this tournament not count for top 4, but that's fine. Or not count for the grand finals, but yeah. Totally fine. I've noticed the signups for tournaments is lower lately. Maybe it's because Turin's not hosting a lot. Maybe it's because this is the free DLC lull, where people are just kind of sitting around, you know, they're not super hardcore because there's just not much going on. Last patch was a while ago, right? Last multiplayer patch? Feels like ages ago. Spring. You think people go outside? You think people pay attention to the seasons? Actually, seasonality in gaming, it is it's noticeable, but it's not like that crazy. I would say it's usually the DLC schedule that affects it the most, at least in my personal experience. But alright, can you beat my dwarves with Khorne? Need an update? I'm sick of Warhammer right now. Need a Skaven buff for sure. But even just a shake-up, you know, Slanesh has been meta for like 2 years now. The stagnation, it festers. Honestly, community balance patches would be sick. Now that I'm doing a lot more streams, maybe I want to have my own community. You know, just branch off from Turin. Do my own multiplayer scene. But the amount of work to do that is just not worth when I have the big video series to work on. Why can't I just have infinity time, you know? Maybe I can recruit Trizik to... Maybe I can recruit Trizik to help manage that. You know, if they are modding... That would certainly save a lot of time. But yeah, I would need prize pools and such. It's a very big commitment. Be great for the community though. I'll think about it. Ready, good luck, have fun. Yeah, I can have my own league / cup. Oh, geez, you readied up a while ago. Alright. He's got Scar Bloodwrath. He has a Skull Taker. He has 7 units. That is an awfully low number of units. I have a million dwarves. So Malachi gives a sick buff to other range units. Just makes them crazy impossible to kill. These rangers are very good, as long as they do not get caught out. And if I just kind of defensive formation here, I'm pretty happy. Just make sure we don't waste our blasting charges over here. Malachi can take a few free pot shots at Scar Bloodwrath, no problemo. And a couple dogs, not a problem. Real question is whether or not Wrathmongers will ruin my day, but I don't think so. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna wait for them to summon something, and then I'll bring in this Sky Hammer. You have to wait though, because otherwise they're gonna start spamming Furies. And that would be most unfortunate. Got the Longbeards at the ready. This is a very heavy right flank, so I'm just gonna start boxing up extremely hard here. I can control this space pretty well. A preemptive Furies. Alright, well. If you're just gonna preemptive Fury me, I can just do this, man. I don't need to summon the bombers at all. Just a couple Furies, pretty chill. Let's just get this formation ultra dense, why don't we? As long as I continue holding this point on a double cap, we're good. Now, the dreaded Khorne build-up is always there, but that's why you have Slayers. If you want to beat build-up strategies, just make sure you de-summon very effectively. The Doomseekers have arrived to support the situation. Very good. What's next? Some Minotaurs of Khorne. Okay. Nothing too crazy. I don't have a lot of range units, by the way. This is intentional. Stops them from causing issues. Now, I could summon the Skyhammer Squadron next, because I can defend it with these guys, and that might be enough to force an attack. I just need to make sure I have enough here to defend. Given that we have the Doomseekers here, I think we'll be okay. And having some stealth units will make it harder for my opponent to come up with a good battle plan. So, are we going to get a summon? I honestly kind of want them to summon Furies at this point. I would love it if they could just attack into me, so that's what we're going to be playing around. Skyhammer Squadron has arrived, and it is very good versus just a single unit of Furies here. As you can see, it has a great slowing effect, and I can use it to just bully them. If this thing kills 2 Furies, it's done its job. As long as I also drop its bombs too. That's gonna be a nice little bit of chip damage. Just a little bit of chipping. Buff the Green Knight. I think the buffs, you know, I think like the mod, any balance mod, it should not really be about balance mod. It should be more of a meta shakeup situation. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really gonna have to figure stuff out. Ouch! Goodbye, Exalted Bloodletters. You served well for the cause. Whoops it oopsies. I'm gonna bog down these Wrathmongers over here. We got Malachi plonking away at him. And I'll have some Giant Slayers soon. They'll do great. So I just want to... Actually, you know what? Screw the Furies. Screw the Furies. We're doing it this way instead. Actually, those Axe Throwers kill him were great. So you can see he's trying to kill my lord. But he'll be okay. We're going to land at the Gyrocopters. And we're going to get the Doomseekers on Skull Taker over here. That should work out pretty well. Miners have taken a lot of damage, but we're still chilling. Just have to be a little wary about these here Minotaurs, but I think we'll be okay. Blasting charges have done well. We've dragged the Furies through the mud. Very good. Oh, geez, he died fast. Okay, well, that's a little awkward. That's just a little awkward. I thought Skull Taker was gonna... Yeah, I didn't realize I was gonna... I didn't realize he could do so much damage so quickly. It's okay, though. I still have the brothers here. And even though the Lord is dead, you gotta remember, we're playing Dwarves. And leadership is chill. Especially with the Longbeards at the ready. Still have to deal with some Wrathmongers, yes, but it ain't too bad, especially because the Minotaur has been forgotten in the distance. Lots of crumbling is away, very nice. And these Minotaurs, yeah, they're not doing too much work right now, but definitely losing Malachi is a little embarrassing. A little bit of a misplay, but hey, look at this. Giant Slayers are in. We can go back into the skies with our Gyro Bomber. Very nice. The Minotaurs are taking a lot of heat. Yeah, it's fine. We're chilling. Ain't no way these Furies are gonna be able to stop this. The Dwarf Tide is too massive. Those Exalteds are freaking out. Very nice. Dwarven legs are being pumped. Honestly, if he remembered those Minotaurs, then it would have been much better for him. But forgetting such an elite unit is going to give you some trouble, that's for sure. And all these Furies, you can see how quickly they crumble away. Revenge Lord, Snippety Snipe. Underway, very nice. And we got our capture point. Glorious. Enemy Lord down. Yeah, it's fine. You don't need your Lord as Dwarves. It's okay. It's chill, it's chill. And he's back even. Oh my gosh, look at that. After all that effort, after all those debuffs, Malachi is back. Honestly, pretty chill game. I thought it was going to go terribly, you know. You thought the Lord Snipe would do it. But it absolutely did not. Malachi is back in action. Wrathmongers are biting the dust. I just had too many dudes, man. The dude died. Also, this Gyro Bomber has 1,500 value. And climbing. Crazy. GG, well played. So that's kind of the thing about dwarves. You, yeah. They just really test your opponent's might of attacking and composition. These guys got insane value though. Are you kidding me? Holy. Yeah. When your range units are able to shoot all game, it does not matter, man. These guys got more than double their values worth. This is why you generally in multiplayer go lighter on the range units. Because when you can defend them, they absolutely shred. Ponty is next. Yo, yo. Are they playing Dark Elves? They are. And it's Brave Valley again. Would you look at that? Very nice. Dwarves. Dark Elves versus Dwarves here. Very fun. Can smell that 7-0. 3 in a row already. Careful, man. Dwarves are a... there's always a chance you get super hard countered. You know what? Maybe I start an Anticity League. Alright, there you go. Messages are done. Alright. Ponty. So, what am I doing here? They're playing Dark Elves. Dark Elves, very annoying. They have a pretty solid range advantage a lot of the time that you gotta worry about. They have some very strong units. That much is for sure. But far from indestructible. They bleed like the rest of them. What do you think about hammers? Hot garbage. Maybe there's some potential there in how fighty they are. I think they can actually trade decently into Khorne units. But they're so expensive. Spell casting can just wreck them because they don't have that much spell resist. It's a little rough. I feel like more elite units of dwarves should have better spell resist. Maybe that's too much, but it's not like they have defenses against it, right? Let's see. I'm up against Dark Elves. Dark Elf late games tend to be quite infantry heavy. So I do have to be... Yeah, I have to be pretty careful and play around that. Let's see here. Spending wise, I can get one of these, sure. It's pretty nice. Kind of like where this build is going. And let's see here. Honestly, Dark Elves aren't too bad. I think I can manage them. I just have to be a little careful. Let's think about strategies that beat this. This is a pretty strong dwarf style. It is pretty menacing. I kind of have to run this guy, which is the sucky part. But I kind of like where this is going. Sure, let's try it. Why not? Yeah, that one time I took 3 hammers with the Grudge Bearer and actually crushed it. That was pretty good. That was a good time for sure. But yeah. Good job baiting him with your lord. You got him. Oh my goodness. Hey, that's my early power up though. We all know. Congrats on the new place. Thank you so much. Go check today. Maybe. A lot of people like going for hero heavy dwarves, but I feel like dwarves are not about their single entities, man. Dwarves are not about their heroes. They're about their infantry. All right. The proud workers that dug the tunnels. You know, those are the ones that carry battles. None of this go check and Felix action. The slayers who have arrived to redeem themselves. Those are the true dwarf heroes. But I might run go check. Maybe there's some builds where it'd be sick. There's a lot of experimentation for sure. But these kind of wide dwarf armies should be super duper difficult to take out. There's a lot here that is... There's a lot here that's just really hard to kill. Like, they're just so freaking tanky, man. And then if my range units stay alive, I'm good. Alright, so we can see we have some harpies, we have some range units, and we have a bolt thrower. Bolt thrower is pretty annoying. It's going to be able to get some constant poking, but it does mean that the rush is a lot weaker. We have Amber Spearflock of Doom, Kadon, nothing too crazy. This kind of screams to me, yeah, I could probably make do with the Skyhammer Squadron. The Dark Elves this day, they don't really have that much going on here. To shut it down, just a couple harpies. That's pretty chill for me. So I'm just gonna do the same thing, capture 2 points, and then start mega boxing. A lot of players, what they end up doing, they look at domination, they look at these points, and they're like, man, the only way I can hold these points is by standing on top of them so my opponent can't capture them. But that's generally speaking a way overkill method of securing the points. By the way, artillery sucks in this game if you can move. But yeah, that's generally a very excessive way to go about controlling points. You can totally control them just by using your range units. Just use your range units. Dodge in time. Bolt throwers are the worst. And you know, you can just punish them. Just punish them for actually putting units on it to capture. This is very similar to the Furies earlier. We just shoot them up. As long as I keep dodging here, I'm okay. Those are executioners though, kind of scary. Okay, here we go. Is that a Medusa? Guy has a Medusa. Alright, so I'm being kited. That's okay. Gonna get that debuff off? Not in time, unfortunately. Well, wait a second, dude. With Malachi's range buff? No, okay. That's just the ability range. Makes more sense to me. Now, can I get the bombing run on them, though? It's a little awkward. Both throwers there. You can see they're shooting pretty hard. They're desperate to save themselves. Oof. But pretty brutal. They take a lot of damage. Now, that's not enough for my Gyro Bomber Skyhammer Squadron to pay for itself. But if I can kill the Furies at the same time, then I think it gets close. Furies are going to try and chase them off. They'll rally, though, so it ain't too bad. And that is a Manticore summon. Yeah, that's not too bad. Just have to be a little careful about that Medusa over there. But yeah, this is kind of like a pseudo Dark Elf kite build that we have going on here. It's a little weird. Skyhammer Squadron will definitely be coming back, though. Manticore will eventually time out. Got to get those dodges off. We'll get a blasting charge volley at least. Not too bad, but nothing crazy either, right? So this is a summon, indeed. Darn trees block those hits actually quite a bit. And he's doing a good job overwhelming my range here. That does make life a little bit more difficult, but not the end of the world. I will have some more Slayers in on the action. Medusa's gonna come in. We just back up from that. It's gonna be a very, slow back and forth for sure. So those are Corsairs on the far side. We can just ignore them. Gyro Bombers come back though. And the Medusa is taking damage. Gotta remember, Bugmans heal. So they're pretty happy in these skirmish situations. Generally speaking, they can get a lot done. This Medusa is not looking too great with the troll hammers bullying her. She's gonna try and shoot at the Gyro Bombers, but we can dodge with them. We're just kind of sitting back, buying some time here, relaxing. Range unit jank, screwing over my opponent, working pretty well for me. Very nice. I'm gonna debuff these guys just to get them routed off a little sooner. Very nice. Blasting charge volley right on his face. And here comes a big rush. Now this rush is going to be weakened by the fact that it is supported by bolt throwers, who are not extraordinarily strong. So that should be quite nice. I will need more Slayers though in a second. But generally speaking, this is a pretty good massacre. Value trading wise, slightly out of my favor though. Gotta be real careful. Bolt throwers are still barreling in, and he did actually get this point. So I'm gonna have to take it back with these Slayers now. A little unfortunate. Could have been slightly smarter about that. That's my B. These Slayers are doing well though. And they can probably cleave into these Corsairs pretty hard. I gotta be careful though. I don't want them to get countered, but looks like the front line's holding at least. Troll hammers got caught pretty bad though, but the Giant Slayer's cooked. Love to see them doing well. Let's do the spin to win on these boys. Chase down the Medusa. There's the passive though, which is pretty bad for me, I'm not gonna lie. And oof, Doomseekers kind of got wrecked. Yeah, not going nearly as well this time around. I do have a lot of infantry, they're doing quite well for themselves, but my range units died this time. I didn't have the anti-ranged oomph. These guys did not pay for themselves. Now, of course, I can keep spamming the Slayers. But yeah, just a little bit too much. Too many of these Dark Shards, and I can't fight them. Very good shutdown of my Gyro Bomber too. Can I? Oh, wait, Gyro Bomber is here though. I didn't bring it back soon enough. I think, did it route? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, this one's just over. I probably did need some counter artillery here if I wanted to win this one. Witch Elves are just very good versus Dwarves. Can I get the bombing run though? Well, that's a pretty good bombing run. Okay, I am going to get this point too. There's a chance that things actually come back to me slightly. If I can do it just right. That's going to be a pretty good bombing run. There we go. He actually opted for Scourge Runners too, which are not perfect for this situation. We got Slayers at the ready. I actually have a lot of Slayers. Hopefully we can catch these guys. I do think we're still in a bad position, but not nearly as bad as I was a second ago. That one bombing run may have shifted things in my favor slightly. Here come the Slayers. So we're going to use them to buffer this area a bit. Then we're just going to start chasing down his ranged, shooting up those guys. And then maybe stealing a point and just making it too hard for my opponent to a little too hard for my opponent to come back, maybe. We'll see. This is far from over, actually. This one Slayer unit has routed off some Corsairs over there. You gotta remember, a lot of his money is stuck in pretty weak sauce range units, right? Those chariots are not doing super well either. I need these guys to cook. What's he doing? He summoned something over there, not entirely sure what. I should be able to secure this point. How's Malachi doing? He's getting assassinated. Unfortunate, because these guys are gonna rout then. We have some units over here on the run, but well, we did rout off the Harpies, and these Slayers can continue the chase. I will have more Giant Slayers soon. Lord is dead, but as you all know, that is far from the end of the world for the Dwarves. Look at these troll hammers. I think slight misplay from my opponent is going to help me come back slightly, but I still don't have all the capture points. Until we do, it's going to be a little sus. Okay, let's just charge in over there. I'm going to get a Giant Slayer on this far side. If he sucks summoning in cavalry, that's really good for us, actually. Unfortunately, he does get this point, though. He's probably going to desummon the artillery pieces, too, which is the worst part for me. And over here, capture point is not actually being secured. Honestly, the game is almost, it's almost doable, but he's just gonna, yeah, I'm too like pulled apart right now. You need a very clean fight. You need a really clean initial fight. Otherwise, the late game for the Dwarves is not gonna be super pretty. And that Medusa's still alive, mind you. Gonna be an absolute menace. I think we gotta cut our losses, people. First loss in 15 games. But it makes sense. Ponty's a very proficient Dark Elf player indeed. Ooh, man, that's a nice Slayer charge, though. So we're triple capped right now. I will be able to get this point, though. And they did summon Furies, which is not amazing. I think summoning in the gyrocopter was a misplay, by the way. That was the big whoopsies. But this could turn events slightly. So let's see here. I could get some Brotherhood of Grimnir here. These Slayers are actually chopping up that assassin pretty hard. Whoops, kind of misplayed it though. Bugmans are just fighting the cavalry. I could summon in a... could re-summon this thing. Is that dumb? Because he has Harpies like crazy. It's not the end of the world, though. It could uptrade, but I think I'm better off summoning the Brotherhood of Grimnir to take this point. Capture point is secured. Can I get the other capture points? So this one, I'm going to be able to hold on to fairly well. These Slayers actually just dumpstered the assassin somehow. Kind of crazy. Yeah, they just killed the assassin like it was nothing. He's routing, man. He's routing to 8 Slayers. Giant Slayers over here will chop up Dark Riders like no one's business. But another unit of Witch Elves is certainly a problem. And he's gonna get a nice charge on these guys. A little unfortunate. Can I steal this point though? Nah. I think we're doomed in the late game. There's too much infantry. All right, GG, well played. Brutal. Ooh. I think I can totally beat that build. I was just like super ill-equipped. There's a lot of ways you can beat a build like this, whether it's by rushing or what have you, but it was pretty well set up. I think if I just had like one artillery piece though, this is pretty screwed. But I did not tech into that. That's my bad. We'll get our vengeance though. GG. Well played, Ponty. Dark Elf extraordinaire. Very nice. Second gyro bomber. I was so tempted to get a second gyro bomber. But yeah, like a build like that, where they just have slightly more range firepower than you, you're gonna be pretty screwed. I really did need like an organ gun. So this thing has 300 range. If you look at the Dark Elf artillery with the bolt throwers at 350. So with Malachi, you can actually basically have the same range. Or you can use goblobbers. But the trees were going to be difficult no matter what. Now, if I went for a Slayer rush, that would be hilarious. I do think the Dark Shards are a little too fast. They'd probably be able to kite me. But, yeah. I think it's totally fine. Let's see. Yo, back to modding ideas. So if I were to make my own Warhammer League, what would be the best way to go about it? Because I really just want to showcase units. I think it would be pretty cool. Well, okay, let's see here. Because I was like, if I make units free, then they'll just keep resummoning them. If I like individually buff some units, I want to stay fairly close to the current meta, but just make it where people explore units a bit more. Slayers went crazy on the assassin. Well, I think it's their stat line 38-32, and they're surrounding the guy. 38-32. Yeah, that's pretty surprising actually that they weren't getting murdered by the assassin. Maybe he didn't have a good attack command on them. Could make chevrons cheaper. That's pretty fun, but I don't think it changes the meta in an interesting enough way. I want the smallest change that would actually impact the meta. So how would we go about that? Let's see. Winners get to change the stats of a unit. Oh my gosh, that reward is a little too snowbally. I don't know how I feel about that one. But yeah, I think like, see, the thing is, if you do unit price changes, you run the risk of them just spamming that same unit. Make all dwarves slayers and give them horses. Slayer cavalry. That would be magnificent. Unit caps. Playing with unit caps is interesting for sure. But yeah, I think like you could have it themed. So one thing you could do I think like a themed tournament. Or let's say you go like, you know, the theme of the, and like this would be 2-month cycles. But the theme of the month could be big monsters. So you just make it where like underused big guys are just a lot cheaper. Like what happens if you make every faction's big scary strong guy way cheaper? Like Uncle for Uncle, 1,000 gold. The thing is, like, every game would, you don't want to get to the point where every game is just Uncle for Uncle. Or we could do like faction themes. I don't know. I think price changes is a good way to go about it, though. If you change the price of units, it is a lot more in line with what people know. That way, like, Turin's tournament scene doesn't get screwed over. Tyel again. Oh my gosh. Whoops, wrong search. Yo, yo. All right. And what's the map? Dried floodplain. All right. Minimum wage Uncle for Uncle. Yeah, I think it'd be cool mix-ups. Maybe like nerf 1 strong unit price-wise per faction and buff 1 weak unit. That could just be enough of that could be enough. Goblin hewers. How low would they have to be? Not that much cheaper, actually. The unit is very high damage. So kind of like ranger great weapons. You can kind of treat them like a more melee ranger great weapons. I think if you made goblin hewers like 800 gold, which is still 150 gold cheaper, I think they become fairly popular. Giant chaos spawn from Slanesh's campaign as a unit. I don't want to go that crazy. This is supposed to be a very mild balance mod. April Fool's tourney, randomize all unit prices. Ogre Kingdoms, Nurgle, and Vampire counts. I'll play versus Vampire counts, why not? That sounds fun, doesn't it? Vampire counts, fairly scary faction, but I think completely manageable. Yeah, they're gonna be a little spooky, but at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of undead dudes. Dwarves are actually very well equipped to fight undead with their leadership. Let's see here. Do I want that? I would say, so you do definitely need to have some anti-large. There's a lot of big boys running around that can be very scary. This should be probably good enough. I wonder if this is good. Maybe I'd try it. Against vampire counts? It could be really good. You know what? Sure. Sure. There's obviously a lot of Graveguard shenanigans you gotta deal with. But if you manage that, life is okay. And unlike the Dark Elves, you can't get outshot here, so the possibilities are more narrow. It's actually just defending my range units that'll be a little annoying. So there's corpse cart, or not corpse cart, but there's like mobility options for vampire counts. I think generally though, vampire counts, like it basically has to be a melee fest. They're gonna try and outgrind me. So maybe we just try something like this. Miners can sometimes be less useful here. I'm just trying to think. Do they have anything that I really have to be terrified of? Reducing unit prices by a flat amount based on size and a percentage amount based on leadership. What do you mean by that? Like mid-battle, do they lose entities when their leadership drops? I'm not sure exactly what you mean. But anyways, less complicated is better for this. The question is, do I start it at the beginning of next month or what? We'll see. It's like quite a bit of an undertaking is the thing, and I'm already playing these tournaments. I'm like almost fully booked in terms of work. So I might push it out a bit later, but I like the idea. Especially because I have someone that can really quickly edit the game files. I feel like this build is missing just like one thing. I feel like one thing is just sorely missing, but I am not sure what that thing may be. This is probably good enough though. Be really funny to just go like a mass flying build against vampire counts. But on this map, it's a little janky. There's actually not a whole lot of options on this map. How many troll hammers? I think I would like to try some heavy troll hammer builds. They can get a lot of damage out. Am I Slay the Spire 2 guy? Absolutely, man. Slay the Spire is sick. I'm working my way to win Ascension 10 with all the dudes. I really like thin decks with like crazy combos, but that's not always the best strat. So I'm practicing like thicker decks. Double Fiery Ring of Thori. It is equivalent to Scabscrath. It's just Master Engineers are not the equivalents to White Kings. So you're kind of just down. Would they not be good at killing off corpse carts? Weirdly enough, troll hammers are not the best option for corpse carts because price. You can use a nuclear bomb to get rid of an anthill, but no one says that that is your best option, right? And troll hammers would be far overkill. You're not going to kill 3 corpse carts with 1 troll hammer. You can use much more mild options. Though troll hammers against vampire counts is not bad because it can be really hard to snipe. I've just opted for some cheap rangers though. I think that's just a little bit more fun. And then we'll see how vampire counts do. I think my chances here are decent. It ain't too bad. See, very similar build to last time. Except just 2 rangers. An ultra thick line of long beards. And then a little bit of a slayer dude over here. I kind of want to see how they break apart this formation. This is a fairly scary formation. We still got slayers. At some point I want to try out some mass flyer shenanigans, but the time is not now for that. I also brought this, by the way. This hammer reduces melee attack by 40 for 50 seconds. That's an insane amount. I imagine if I send a unit of giant slayers onto a unit, this thing could just do 1,000,000 damage. I also kind of wonder, what if I go like a mass melee army? Because these Slayers do 1,000,000 damage on the charge. 30 charge bonus, 52 weapon strength. Yeah, they're gonna be just annihilating. They're just gonna be annihilating face. So if you just go full melee, like obviously you'll get shot up by a lot of factions, but as long as your Slayers aren't getting charged, the value could be insane. First things first though, let's just get me some points. We got some White Kings, we got a Von Karstein Lord. He's got nothing too interesting though. I do have to be very careful about Scab Scrath with these Rangers. But as long as I keep them hidden away, I should be fine. Now, it's very tempting to bring in the Gyro Bomber here, but I actually don't have a lot to defend it. There's the White Kings, Scab Scrath acquired. What if I just hide these guys away? I might try that out. And we're just gonna post up, get a very defensive formation going. And it's mostly skeleton warriors. I could get the Brotherhood of Grimnir here in time. Yeah, let's do that. Just in case the White Kings decide to YOLO in. Gotta make sure that they are punished for such things. A little Slayer dude will be very good for that too. And this map is actually pretty decent defensively because of this thing. Flock of Doom sucks versus Dwarves, by the way. Though we've seen 2 players actually run Flock of Doom, I just don't agree with it. I don't think it is that good. But maybe I'll be proven wrong. This guy over here, he's just gonna bully the White King. Now that he has 4 melee attack, he is not exactly a big threat to me. Then I just want to push my position up a little bit. Take some space. And because this is a mass infantry build, more blasting charges are definitely warranted. Now those Graveguard are pulling back very smartly. This will be a pretty good blasting charge volley. And I just want my Slayers to get their charges off. As long as they charge, I'm in a great position. Even this is a bit overkill. All these range units gonna be blasting into that corpse cart. But yeah, I want these guys to never get charged, essentially. They're gonna be my backline anchor to keep me safe. So I wasn't on top of my summons. That can hurt a lot for Dwarves if you're not careful. And he chucks out the Scab Scrath now than these guys. Big misplay. Very unfortunate for my opponent. Another Flock of Doom drops, but it ain't too crazy. Let's get that summon in. Corpse cart should die very soon. And as long as he's unable to actually punch through my front line and these guys keep shooting, we're going to win the game. It is that simple. Brotherhood of Grimnir cycle charging. Gonna go now. But yeah, right now though, it feels more like, doesn't really feel like I'm crushing it though. I think there's definitely a lot to optimize here. Like obviously this game's going really well, but I think my opponent is misplaying on a few fronts. And I don't know how this would perform if... Well, I don't know. I think this build in general, it might just be the build. This build doesn't have a lot to actually get into this cookie jar here. Yeah, there's going to be a few fell bats, but that ain't too crazy. How my Brotherhood of Grimnir doing? You can get that spin to win. Big grindy action on them. Then I just need to, yeah, just kill the bats. As long as I do that, I'm okay. Gotta be careful though. Gotta make sure my blasting charges don't just kill me. But yeah, as long as I kind of run through like this, I'm pretty comfy. Going to get our blasting charges off. And this is just a very annoying kind of position. He's going again for the Lord's Knight. I will say, he does very much like the Lord Snivetus Snipes. But yeah, as long as I keep these guys safe, I'm good. Now, I'm mosh pitting a little bit, which I don't like very much. But yeah, range units are still online and operational. Let's just keep running with you, little lad. And the front line's holding well because I have long beards. They give a big old leadership buff. So I don't need the Lord nearby to keep him around. The question is, though, with this battle going as it is, how are we looking in terms of capture points? I am a little down on capture points. I'm up in value, though. Another spin to win, going very well. But now we have Blood Knights coming in. Gonna need to ward them off for sure. And I'm not going to go too wide like I did last time. I'm just gonna play a lot safer here. Another Flock of Doom, not a lot of damage. But yeah, I'm gonna be a little careful about going too wide. Because as dwarves, you can get pulled apart really easily. You need to like keep the slayers on the interior so that they can get their charges off. It's kind of weird, but yeah, you actually just want them to cycle charge and to stay out of combat. It's quite strange indeed. But my opponent is slowly but surely running out of units. That's just going to debuff their armor. Help them bleed a little bit. There you go. Slayer is on the chase, but they don't want to over chase. That's the name of the game today. Just don't over chase. Whoop. And we got outlet. Enemy Lord on my Lord, but I think we'll be totally fine. Unfortunately, vampire counts, they completely rely on their ability to kill off the range units to win games. Either that or just takes so long to kill that takes so long to kill that they cannot that the opponent can't win on points. But yeah, by the way, it's another Lord death. He did finally get him, but he's gonna lose a White King soon. I'm not particularly sad about the Lord loss. We're still doing just fine. Though I do need to actually get these points. Maybe a Slayer Surround on this guy will do well. I will say, playing as dwarves, it really is all about the formation and movement rather than the micro. Like, it's making sure that you don't get out of position with the Slayers that wins you games. More so than everything else. Like, I could summon a Slayer there to try and get this point back, but I gotta remember, I'm a really slow faction. You gotta remember, you are insanely slow as dwarves. Can he punch through the Slayer wall, though? Honestly, he's doing pretty good. There's still a White King alive. This point is mine, though. This one is mine. This one will be mine soon. I think I'm probably fine, even though a lot of my units are routing. You gotta remember, this is like some of the most elite dwarven infantry that has ever seen the light of day. How good is this ability, by the way? It seems like it doesn't do that much damage. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not particularly impressed by it. But yeah, my guys are super elite. They do not care at all about most things, and they'll just continue grinding forever. More cavalry has been summoned forth. Not a big deal, though. And I could get my Lord back. Why not? We'll take this point and just enjoy the fact that we have a value lead. Though I must say, I don't know how I feel about the dwarves just yet. There are a few high micro units I can get, like the gyro bombers, but they're so easily countered. I don't feel comfortable running them all the time. If I do face Ponty again, though, maybe. Maybe I can go the mass gyro bomber core. Really depends on what build they decide to go for. If they have enough harpies and all that. But yeah, mass gyro bomber can always be a surprisingly scary build. I would love to show it later today. Vargeist and Fellbats? Not really if you have Slayers. Because they are, to kill a range unit, you need more Vargeist and Fellbats. To, you know, to actually finish off the unit. And that means your front line has to trade really, really well to make up for it. Now, you are vampire counts, but against a front line of like Doomseekers and a million armored infantry, it's not exactly an easy task. And that's going to be GG. Well played from my opponents. But they got by the dwarves again. Excuse me, not bad. But Ponty is still a menace at large. I will need to try and find them. We get matched against JNM Driver instead, which should still be fun. Corpse carts, as you can see, no troll hammers needed. They die to all forms of shooting. And let's get Driver in. So, they've sent me the code. And they are playing none. I'm Dwarves, and the map is Bleakspire Labor Camp. Kind of an awkward map, but I think we can pull some crazy stuff off. There's also mass Slayer rushes that can be oddly difficult to deal with sometimes. You can't always go for the mass Slayers, but yeah. Yeah, just a million zombies versus Longbeard spam is so rough. Should not get a Lord penalty loss with a Slayer. In theory, you won. You should get a leadership buff when your Slayer Lord dies. Unless it's Ungrim, of course. That would be hilarious, but that's not actually lore accurate. No artillery. I will get artillery soon. This map is not bad for artillery. So I'll give it a hard maybe. If they go Bretonia, they're insane. Chaos, maybe? Dwarves can be pretty annoying versus Chaos. I don't know how well they do. What build do I want to go, though? What build do I want to do? This is filthy and hilarious. If I do this, how's this build feel? So close, so close. I almost have a crazy build for you guys. The cooking is immense with this one. Khorne, Chaos, Dwarves, and Greenskins. Let's play versus Greenskins. Should be fun. Been a while. The Greenskins. The Green Boys. Been a while. I don't think they are... they are far from insurmountable. But if I am fighting Greenskins, what do? So they obviously have some very hardy infantry. You gotta be a little careful around that. But I don't think Greenskins are that bad. I would say Greenskins a chump change. I think they're gonna be super duper chump change. Maybe I'm crazy, but this should actually be a super annoying army to deal with. This one here. I almost feel bad. But battle's not over yet, of course. We do have a proper fight to play. But seriously, this is pretty filthy. As far as builds go, this is... Oh yeah. Alright, let's do some of this. This is definitely the Anticity Has Fun game. Copy this build at your own peril. Let's see, what do I need here? This is honestly pretty fine. You know what? Sure, let's just do it. Curious what my solution to Squigs is. Oh, I definitely have a solution to Squigs here. 10,000%. We got the mega answer to Squigs. Not a shot. Let's see, so if I wanted to host my own... Okay, yeah, so not enough signups. Man, signups to tournaments have been real lacking lately. Let's see here. You know, like a couple months ago, it's actually going real strong. I don't know what happened. Okay. Here we go. Are you guys ready? So this is the fill. This is the screw you build. This is the my opponent's about to have a bad day build. There's one thing about gyrocopters, and it's that they're one of the most APM intensive units in the game. So I'll actually have fun I'll have fun microing them. All right. Honestly, if he leaves right now, I don't blame him. This is very much so maximum filth. So he's gonna have some orc error boys, but they're obviously not much of a problem. He's gonna have some cavalry over here. I can defend my lord with not much in the way of support. And then I just start spamming slayers over there. And we just start blasting them. As you can see, the ammunition is quite painful. He doesn't have a way to rampage me. Woo! Got the boar boys into an awkward position. They ate a bunch of bombs. Did not take that much damage though, funnily enough. But all right, here we go. Let's get the bombing runs. Bada bing, bada boom. As long as you micro these guys well, you can get some crazy damage. We're just kind of wearing them down though to start off. Here we go, and you can see the archers are playing ultra safe. They don't really want to get into a tussle just yet, and that's totally fine by me. All I gotta do realistically is hold on to one of these points, and then we'll be okay. You can see the bomb droppings have already gotten a lot of work done. And unfortunately for the greenskins, archers are pretty bad at killing the gyrocopters as long as I keep moving. If we don't stay on the move, they have some pretty bad stagger animations. Some of the worst in the entire game, mind you. So I do have to be quite careful about that. And I do have to focus on min-maxing my damage here. But yeah, as long as we keep using these guys, I'll be okay. So you can see the archers coming in to try and kill the gyro. No, not the gyro bomber, the thunder barge. So we're just gonna dodge them up a little bit. Gonna position just like so and so. Here we go. And we just got a alley-oop. And alley-oop. Gonna get a bombing run over there. Then we're going to use this gyro bomber to get in there too. This thing's doing well. It's a lot to micro, like I said, but it definitely pays for itself if you can pull it off correctly. So this should be another fairly good bombing run. Thunder Barge is still cooking them. Let's get into formation and then bomb the Rugloods into oblivion. There we go. Jeez, a lot of micro. Okay, there you go. But the Rugloods are effectively gone now. Just a couple more. On to the Rugloods. Thunder Barge is still alive, thankfully. Okay. Dude, the Rugloods leadership, though, is really holding well. I must say, I am truly impressed, but he doesn't have an answer for the Thunder Barge. Okay, there we go. Little sketchy, but we got there. None of these guys will do great against Slayers except for that one infantry unit. Maybe I can give him a bit of a bombing run. But I will say he's holding out better than I thought he would. Little Grom is, not Little Grom, but Grom the Paunch is doing pretty well there too. Let's get this bombing run though. This is a good bombing run. Oh boy. That's a lot of pain and suffering for sure. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get this thing and we're going to shoot at Grom. And that javelin hurts. It does 1,000,000 damage. So that's gonna wreck them pretty hard. And if I can kill Grom here, that would be perfect. Because obviously that just destroys their poor leadership. I still have a decent amount of time too. But not an infinite amount of time. Thankfully, Grom is absolutely dead now. So that's pretty solid. Very nice. Can safely retreat from the archers. I am almost completely out of bombs now, though. But at least this little core of dudes will be fairly easy to kill. Let's try and finish the job on Grom the Paunch. And then get our first point well and secured here. It'll be a hot second, but I should be okay. Can I get that actual Lord killed? Thingamajig going? That would be perfect. Nah. I get the Lord routed. Benefit. That's okay. But not perfect by any means. Now what I can do is I can start spamming these guys. Just a bunch of normies. Grom the Paunch is most definitely gone. And I will have this capture point. But we're gonna need to get the rest soon. Now capture weight wise, I'm doing pretty good. And the Thunder Barge is obviously going to be able to get a lot of nasty work on his face. But I don't have an infinite amount of time. And Grom the Paunch will certainly come back very soon. That Thunder Barge, though, is getting some solid work on his face, though. We've turned the thrusters on. Very nice. And if I can secure this point in a decent amount of time, I'm good. Now, this does make it take a lot of damage, but that's totally fine by me. We're going to use the leadership reducing effects of my gyrocopters to get these guys off the point without a fight needed. Very important. Then we're going to flank the greenskins so that they don't cause me many issues. I also need to kill off these orc boys. But everything here should route pretty easily. Grom is not back quite yet. So if I can get these guys routed off, that's perfect. There you go. Little character there routed off, which means no more leadership on that front. And now he's going to make a play for this point. That is totally fine for me, as we have very much so secured the area. And one thing Grom is very good at doing, it's getting shot at by these gyro bombers. Not Grom. What my gyro bombers are really good at doing is tearing Grom's poor face off. So that should be pretty good. So he's come back for round number 2, but little does my opponent know I still have a lot of ammunition. And that ammunition is going to be painful. As you can see, the paunch does not appreciate that very much. You can see how difficult this is, though. Like, this is not just like a free win by any means. You have to really make sure that you micro properly and you don't waste your ammunition and that you're positioning well. Because if you don't, yeah, you're just gonna not kill these guys fast enough. Actually getting the Lord snipes and such. Though Grom is certainly gonna die again. I think he was a little too over-eager with this guy. Oh man, that's gotta feel bad. Honestly, the Grom the Paunch is almost a misplay, but he kind of needed him for leadership. It happens. There he goes again. Oh, that's so rough though. That really sucks. You really don't want to see that happen. Oh boy, and he's gonna get the full Lord dead penalty too. Ouch! Right when the cav charge comes in, also. Not pretty. Very not pretty for my opponent. And he taps out. GG, well played. So that's the build. Extremely micro intensive. It is one of the hardest to micro builds in the game, but the value you can get on your flyers is crazy. Look at that. Lots of greenskins routing. Grom died twice. He had 4 archers and we just bombed them into oblivion. It's so dumb. Like this build is obviously a skew build, but for greenskins they have so few ranged options. You really you can't prepare for this and a normal dwarf build. So this matchup will almost always be a 50-50, assuming you have the gyrocopter micro. But because most people don't, it's often not prepared for. And that is why this is disgusting. You can rampage them though. There's a few lords that can rampage. You can rampage a barge, but it won't land. Hey, nice. We got a bit of a meme sent in. Very nice. I think this was made by Trizik. There you go. Very good stuff. I thought you were gonna have the other one of the guy looking up with the kind of blue background, but this is also very good. Very nice. Well, now that I have thoroughly made my opponent feel bad, we can move on to the next one. So that's 3-1 now. Very nice. Yeah, barge can't land. Don't need a triple cap if you make your opponent forfeit. Oh man. Yeah, it's the thing is, most people can't pilot that build well enough to actually be abusive with it. It's like a high level cheese. Like if I Waywatch a kite and no one would complain, right? This is effectively Dwarven Waywatch a kite. Now, despite all that, the game was still kind of close. Thank goodness Grom died twice, though. Those gyro bombers got stupid value against them. And we're up against Michael next. Okay. Very nice. Yo, yo. All right, Michu, what are they playing? None. Interesting. No faction selected, so they go Vampire Count, Skaven, and High Elves. On Decrepit Moor. I'll play versus High Elves. I got no fear. I have a fun strategy. This one should be pretty nasty, I think. But we'll see. When I had a double cap. Yeah, no. There's no way Driver would have won. You know, I had more than enough time to capture all the points, and the guy basically had no army left. Like one Slayer, one Giant Slayer on each point is... It is enough, let me tell you. But yeah, this build should be... It should be pretty nifty. Going through the things that High Elves will typically be bringing in this situation. They have a handful of tools, but none that I am particularly worried about. There is a little bit of awkwardness with actually capturing points. So Rangers are super good at trading into Slayers, which means your typical capture weight options are not exactly magnificent. But that's never stopped us before. I should be fine. Ranged option wise, what do I want? What do I want here? I could just... Okay, how dumb is this build? This feels pretty dumb. This feels pretty whack, actually, in terms of builds. This is asking for a lot to go well, but potentially it is actually not the worst. I think this will really depend on my opponents. Oh boy, this is... Yeah, this is kind of a wacko build. I'm not gonna lie, people. This one's kind of insane. Is this really what I want to be doing? Is this really what I want to be doing with my life? Is this how I will be remembered? Okay, what if I sub out one of these for one of these? Now it seems slightly less insane. Though, obviously, this is still kind of bonkers. But what if this build is good? What if it's actually the best build history has ever seen? And we just need it to be witnessed. Dude, how do I kill Rangers, man? High Elves are so annoying for Dwarves. All these fast factions. Map is kind of big too, which definitely makes things a little bit more awkward. Yeah, we're against Michu. I have beat High Elves, by the way, before with the max flyer build. Because sometimes you just don't bring enough range units and then you win. But that's Dwarves for you. Very build dependent. A rather cheesy faction. But we still love them. Only because of the underdog. Man, how do I finish the build, though? I think I just take 2 of these and call it a day. This is probably not a great build. But I think it's one that is scary. Malachi quad cannon. The Quadra. It's honestly, cannon Malachi builds could be really scary because you have to rush across effectively the whole map to actually jump them. But this map is not as wide as I would hope for. There's a few decent angles to get a good rush off. So we've gone for some different shenanigans, though it's still Malachi, as you can see here. So feast your eyes. This is the build. I have an organ gun, a cannon, and a stupendous amount of range units. The idea is simple. Just kill him. Just kill him before he can do anything. This could be a terrible idea. It likely is a terrible idea. There's only 12 units though, which is not bad. Ready, good luck, have fun. And I have a lot of stealth units. He's gone for triple Illyrian Reaver. Is he scared of the Gyro Bomber build? Eltharian's pretty wild with the Tempest. Guy thought I was gonna air cheese him. I'm no dwarf one trick. Are you kidding me? Guy thought I didn't know how to play dwarves. Well, he's screwed now. This is gonna be very bad for the High Elves. The sheer amount of range advantage I have at my disposal is immense. And I can play super defensively here. We have Malachi, of course. And I have some shotguns. I have multiple stealth shotguns. The idea being we're going to use them to wreck his face. Here comes the cannons. We're just going to post up over here. Use Malachi's buff. Give me some insane range. Just going to shoot at my minor blasting charges because I was slightly overextended, but we get a pretty decent dodge. Wow. Some good deeps on those guns, I must say. Now we're gonna shoot up his archers. So we definitely want these guys to be on guard mode. And yeah, what are you gonna do? I got the Brotherhood of Grimnir. I just have to be really careful about those lions. They're definitely pretty nasty. Now, Rangers should do pretty well versus High Elf Archers. So we're just gonna, yeah, just shoot out a volley and then pull back. I'm just gonna sit back and relax. His rush is not especially strong here with this composition. And of course, the cannons hurt a lot. I don't need to move up either. I can just sit here all day. And that's gonna be a lot of value. Now, the question is it gonna come out of the woods or something? Because I know those lions are over on the flank here, and they'll want to push up. This is a terrible idea in my head. But I guess we'll see how they do. There is a Tempest on the horizon too. But I don't think it's that bad. Now, this build is really weird. Because essentially what it's hoping for is that my opponent misjudges the situation. And they try to rush in. Because here's the funny thing. If you rush into a range build like this, but you don't actually have enough units, you just get massacred. You get horribly, horribly massacred. And if he just sees like, oh, my units are stealth, he doesn't see that I have the full force to bear. This guy's in the trees. He might think he has just enough to shut down all my guys, when in reality he doesn't. And then victory will be mine. In theory. Now, summoning in a gyro bomber could be very risky. I don't want to show my hand that I have them just yet. We want to bide our time here. For sure. Now, where is that rush coming in? I know he wants to rush me. I might be able to get a free shotgun blast on Altarian too. He still doesn't know where these guys are. Which is pretty funny. So I'm gonna be like, no, my miners. If I run away right now, make him look weak. Dang it. He doesn't fall for the bait. Guy's playing very carefully. Makes a lot of sense. I don't have need to summon more units just yet. I'm just gonna keep pushing with this thing. With dwarves, it's very important that you do not get over eager. Things can go badly very quickly if you're not careful. I'll just summon a couple units. Maybe take a few pot shots here. Malachi still got them buffs. I can give up this point. That's totally fine. Okay. And then maybe just shoot up Altarian. He is kind of exposed. He's basically asking for it. But maybe he's just drawing fire instead. Ah, he saw him. He saw them. Well, that's unfortunate. We have more Oceanids coming in too. I personally don't think Oceanids are the end of the world, but I guess we'll see. I think it's safe enough to bring in the gyro bomber now, by the way. And I'm just gonna spam out miners. They're gonna be my front line. They'll keep me safe. And the chip damage from the guns shall continue. I think he doesn't know these rangers are here, so if I get a volley off, he's pretty screwed. And then the lions over there shouldn't do too well. I got a volley off in that direction too. And so far the artillery DPS is good. Nothing amazing, but it's certainly good. Hey, we found some white lions. Hello. Happy to see you. Yeah, Eltharion was super out of position. So we're just going to change our formation a little bit. And we're just going to alley-oop. Just going to alley-oop him again. And maybe one more time for good measure. Just making sure that he's completely incapable of rushing me for the next 50 years. As I continue to press forwards. And hopefully get a little bit of value. So that was a pretty good route. Yeah, Skyhammer Squadron does not joke around, man. It's terrifying. And in this battle of attrition, we are 2,000 gold in the lead. Insane. It's Dwarven positions. I'll continue to hold. But we got some lions in the backfield. The question is, will they be enough? Rangers have to be a little careful here. Don't want them getting caught out or anything. I still have to maintain a good up trade. And I still have to make sure I don't get overextended. I actually do not have that many units in general. It's a little awkward. I'm not gonna lie. If I keep repositioning these guys though, we might not know where they're actually at. And that could cause some issues. Organ gun continuing to barrel down. Okay, and now I think he's going for some sort of push. But this is bad because I have guns at my disposal. And they're just going to get blasted. So this is why the sneaky strats are so good. Sometimes it's just not ready for it. Agara's Pride coming on in hot. But do I have enough? He chucks out a Tempest. I'm going to get another. I'm going to get another one. There we go. I'm gonna see what our shotguns can get done. Looks like my guns are doing pretty good, I'd say. And he's not rushing in just yet. This is kind of just a light poking advance. He's essentially just trying to sneak into my position here, but it ain't gonna be enough. And that's gonna hurt pretty bad. Reavers aren't doing so well either. Let's get our shotguns back in action. So we routed off Agara's Pride. Very good. And Eltharion is going to be trying to get in here. But he just popped his Tempest. And that's pretty bad for Eltharion. With no Tempest, he won't be able to stop the Gyro Core from just murdering his face. Let's get these miners in here. There you go. Ooh, he dodges the volley though. Very well played. But can he escape is the real question. He chucks out one more Tempest. But he's gonna get barraged by a hail of bullets. And this is where the micro comes in. Gyro bombers. You need that micro. Mistime the bomb drop slightly. But if I can get the bomb drops on these guys as they push in, that would be perfect. There you go. Eltharion gets a charge. I'll bomb drop as I retreat. And it's all about just holding this here position. I have a lot of guns, that's for sure. And Eltharion's looking pretty messed up. Brotherhood is in. There's the bomb drops. Last one. Nails them. Very nice. And then I just need to... yeah, I just need to use these guys properly. And then hopefully we clear all this out in time for... me to recapture the points quickly. Eltharion's getting real low. I don't think he appreciates this very much. There's the bomb drops to hopefully swing the fight in my favor. That'll be a pretty good one too. Can I get one more? I think that'll be good enough. But how is Eltharion doing? Well, he has another Tempest. That's gonna be pretty nasty, but not the end of the world. Tempest does not do that much damage to the gyrocopters. As long as they keep moving too, they can dodge the arrows at this range. And I have another one coming in to finish the job. But the center position is not going as well as I would hope for. But I think Eltharion's gonna die. Guy's looking pretty beat up. He's dodging to the best of his abilities. And that's going to be good. Unfortunately for me, we still have a ways to go this battle. Brotherhood of Grimnir are in, though, and they can spin to win. This should be a pretty good volley on Eltharion. And I think if we just kill him, we're set. But the guy has a lot of heals. I guess I have a lot of guns, though. And I'll be pushing this position very hard soon. Woo, there we go. Finally got him. I'm telling you, Dwarven Gyro Bombers are so micro-heavy. I just wish they weren't as cheesy as a unit. If they weren't such a cheesy unit, then, you know, you'd actually have a fun unit to micro around. But most of the time, it's just whether or not they're being countered. Eltharion bites the dust, though. And I've used all my bombs. And so the push for the final points begins. So I have no units to summon in. That is because I have been managing my D-summons very badly. But I guess suffering from success is not the end of the world. Let's get these troll hammers over here. Let's get these guns over here. I might need a multi-cap soon, which is bad. I wonder if he's also suffering from having not enough units to summon in, though. This has been a long, grindy game, that's for sure. But now I have a long time to secure this point. Ragara's Pride has been resummoned. That is okay. Because we've secured this point, and that's all that really matters. At this point, I am much more comfortable. This Gyro Bomber can now be desummoned. It gives me something to bring back onto the battlefield, which I desperately need. And we have our guns in range here now. Whew, jeez. What a nasty match. I think I had the better build. The build felt pretty solid overall. And that's what did most of the hard carrying. Can we get a sick troll hammer shot in here? Without too much friendly fire, hopefully. A little bit of friendly fire. Not the best engagement I've ever had, but we're still gonna collapse in on that position quite hard. And then I will be able to resummon my entire army very soon. I imagine he'll do the same with Eltharion, though. I have 4,000 in the bank. That's kind of absurd. Yeah, he also has nothing to summon in, though. So I think we're both really running into that. Yeah, the resummoning problems, which is actually really bad for me because this capture point is going to be bad if he manages to hold it. What's he gonna summon in, though? Or maybe he doesn't have money. That would be the biggest crazy thing ever. If he's actually completely dry, that's great for me. I think I'll just wheel in a cannon. Try and get a couple shots in. And then I'm gonna just fly in this Gyro Bomber. Just so I have something. But we are now on the points. Malachi is here. And I just have to hold this for only like a couple of minutes. And then we're good. No chance they'll be able to take this point. And I think we're barely gonna win by the skin of our teeth. Crazy match, though. Yeah, no bats, no furies. It's nice. GG. He taps out. Did he have no money? Because I had so much in the bank, man. That was an absurd amount of money in the bank. GG, well played. This is gonna be another win. Will I face the Ponty, though? It's a true question. I am second place. Ponty has dropped a lot. The only win Ponty had this whole tournament was against me. Are you kidding me? Dang, man. They do know how to play the matchup really well, though. Cannons, artillery, of course, very good. So dwarves are weird. They have very, very strong skew builds. And you can really only counter one. So a dwarf player who can successfully randomize their builds, they will typically have a skew build that you don't counter, and then they win. So you can see here, he was really worried about the flying spam, but but I could have gone artillery or an infantry rush, right? So 2 times out of 3, I'm probably beating him. And that's the issue. Now, it means you have to have some pretty mean mix-ups as the dwarves, but that's what I specialize in. Rip to the Ponty rematch. Yeah, no Ponty rematch. Very unfortunate. It is good, though. Rangers did pretty good. Dwarves have so many good units. Lack of cav is the only thing keeping them out of top tier. With cavalry being kind of meta right now, it's definitely rough. You can make it work, though. Dwarves just need a few better options to defend their range units. Make it where, like, you know, you can outshoot the dwarves, you can outrange them. Because that fight is quite interesting, the range unit versus range unit fight. And then make it where, like, rushing in with the melee is a little harder. But then that might make them really good versus, like, Beastmen and Chaos and Slanesh and Khorne. But, like, is that a problem? I don't think anyone's like, oh no, the melee factions like Norska and Chaos, they're losing to dwarves, oh no. I'm sure, you know, Nurgle and Joris would be very sad, but you can just buff Nurgle. By the way, those bombing runs, super value. If you can just bomb key infantry before they get into your backline, the difference is huge. And I think that's what differentiates like a high level dwarf play and kind of mid-tier dwarf play. Mid-tier dwarf play, you just have a good formation, a good build, but you don't have the micro. The micro opens up these shenanigans. But yeah, I think if dwarves had a better slow, similar with Skaven, if they have something to pin down large units, they'll be way better. It's the reason why Skaven doesn't insta-die to flyers, because they have that flying net. But like, that's it. They only have the flying net. They don't have a cav net. Dwarves do have an everything net, but it costs you like everything. You gotta go double Rune of Slowness, Runesmith. So it costs you like 1,200 gold. Yo, yo! Azek. Azek is here. Alright, let's do it. So, what are we looking at? What are they playing? This is the last game of today. I won't be doing the top 4 because not enough signups. And it's a dwarf mirror match! Hell yeah. On Proving Grounds. What a way to end it. We must assert Dowie dominance this day. Yeah, I think if rune magic was actually good, dwarves would open up a lot as a faction. They would still have a lot of cheesy stuff, but rune magic being able to solve the traditional problems would be perfect. Similar to how Skaven weapon teams, I think, should be solving their traditional problems. But yeah, the Dwarven Mirror match. This one is very fun. It's very straightforward. Would highly recommend. As there are a few interesting ways you can actually go about it. Mass air build. A mass air build here would kind of be crazy. Just bringing the Thunder Barge. It like insta loses to most dwarf builds. So probably not. But, you know, if you completely disregard it, you will die. So I should have at least some tech to deal with it. But yeah, Dwarven Mirror has a good number of ways to play it. It is actually... It's actually pretty funny. Let's see here. And I think the way I like to play it in particular, a lot of people are not ready for. If you know, though, if you know how I like to play it, I still think it would kind of be tricksy to play around. But, yeah, we'll see. This is truly a disgusting build. Yeah, this is actually, it's pretty gross. All right, I'm ready. Give me your worst, Azek. Yep. Doom Slayers. Or Doom Seekers. Slayers. Terrifying. Yeah, I think if Rune of Slowness had like... If you could put it... Okay, if they made Overcast stronger and you could put it on 2 runesmiths. Right, so each runesmith can give like a massive slow. I don't know, like Net of Ammon Talk on a caster can cost you like, as Empire, literally 450 gold. For a guy with Net of Ammon Talk who can chuck it out every like 30 seconds and it lasts a long time and it's a true net. Meanwhile, Dwarven runesmiths are stuck giving a slow on like a 2-minute cooldown and they cost more. That's pretty bad. Marcus Wolfheart does more than 2 runesmiths for the same price. Because he's an AoE full net. And Empire has cavalry, so... Yeah, that's a little problematic. Alright, let's see what he decides to go for. If Melkoth does damage, why not Rune of Slowness? Okay, giving dwarves a direct damage rune would definitely be good for them. But I think that would be not thematic. That feels like too much like magic. Not enough like runes. Although honestly, some of the runes are kind of weird, but... Yeah. You know, that'd be really cool. I wish Rune of Speed made Slayers move at double speed, but only for a few seconds. Make it so they can actually catch whatever unit they want to hit. Because the fact that Slayers can't catch large stuff is just really bad, man. I feel like it's not too unthematic to give Slayers like a nasty enough speed buff, but anyways, we'll see. Here's the build. So this is the Great Weapon Dwarf build. It's very simple, all right? You just walk forwards. There's not a lot of thinking here. You're seriously just walking forwards, and that's it. Then the game ends. In the reserves, some troll hammers in case we have gyrocopter shenanigans. 1,000,000 miners and some giant slayers. The goal is to just take so long to kill, because a lot of people like to play a ranged heavy dwarf build here. But with these guys, it can just take so freakishly long to clear out this many longbeards that you just win. The question is, though, what has my opponent brought? 15 units means probably no flyers. It's a mass range build. He's dead. He is 10,000% dead. There is no possible way that they can recover from this unless I am an absolute scrub lord. You see this? You alt drag all the way to the back of the field and you pump those dwarven legs like no one's business. All right, there are not enough bullets for the amount of chonkiness we have here this day. I have to be a little careful about the minor blasting charges, but I can totally just avoid them once they start getting close. Okay, get another volley off before we book it. Indeed-a-do, we can. And then, yeah, I think I might just go for the Brotherhood of Grimnir here, though Giant Slayers can get there a little sooner, so I'm gonna do that. We're gonna go ahead and just charge in our Lord with Reckless Abandon. And then the death charge begins. This is gonna be a real nasty, let me tell you. I just need to be able to capture the points as we make our big push in. And actually dive his position well enough. I have to be a little careful here, actually. Gotta be a little careful. Gotta pull back from blasting charges. Lord's gotta run. But I do need to get a proper flank going. Whoop! Gotta be careful about the Thunderers. Alright, there we go, though. And he even friendly fires some of his own units. Very good for me. My right flank is a little slow. I'll have to be careful there. But yeah, this is pretty bad for him. This is pretty bad for my dear opponent. As long as I can get this flank off. It's the slowest rush you've ever seen. But as soon as these miners start to break off, that's when we can make our big push. And I think the time is now. And he will witness true dwarven supremacy. Now there's a few slayers here. Of course, they will be able to fight pretty decently. But I don't have to worry about that too much. It's all about just breaking into those lines. So I just gotta pull these guys back, away from them. We just gotta get that big push in. Just the big push, just keep walking, keep pumping. It's the never-ending dwarf tide. He doesn't have that many range units. And slayers are notoriously difficult to kill for ranged anyways. So while it looks like we are suffering many losses on the initial push, I assure you things will be okay. Flamethrowers are in, but so are my giant slayers. And we just gotta keep up the pressure. Get my lord in there. Very nice. And just don't stop. Don't stop believing. I will say my push is not the greatest here. It's a little slowed down by a few forces, but I think we're still getting in there pretty well. See the guns, the Thunderers are doing the best, but now they're going to be getting shot up and caught in melee. And I think I just keep spamming miners now to just really get that dwarf tide going. I want a truly infinite number of dwarves. And there we go. Middle point is now going into my favor. And now let the stalling begin. So I just gotta keep pushing in here. I just gotta get in here. He can't kill us all, boys. Okay, more miners. As long as I keep on top of that, we're good. Very nice. Malachi, I'll shut down in but a second. Here we go. And then alley-oop. That's the capture point. So I need to keep these range units backed up for a while. So I'm going to ignore his heroes and such, because the capture point's going to be stalled by these guys anyways. We go. Longbeard's keeping the leadership high. It's like we're playing undead, kind of. So we're playing a pseudo undead army. Lost a few rangers over here. Value-wise, it's close enough, though. And dwarves are not going to be able to recapture the points in time. So, I think we'll be fine. Keep pushing, boys! Keep pushing! Yeah, they're just gonna... It's just a constant wave of dwarves, man. You can't stop this. This is definitely one of my favorite mirrors. I know Turin doesn't like mirrors, but when you can do builds like this, it's too good to pass up, right? A couple pirate slayers won't do super well there. He might actually be able to retake this point soon, though. I have to be a little careful. You can see he's starting to really save these range units. And I don't appreciate that very much. It seems we still have a battle on our hands. Though this flank is not going super well. Yeah, we'll see. These guys have armor piercing attacks, by the way. They're great. Yeah, but what are you gonna do now? I have 1,000,000 miners. How's my lord doing? Lord's doing fine. And if I can just win this frontline fight, he won't have anything to actually get onto the point. That's the most important thing. Giant Slayers are deciding to chase. That's fine. I'll keep these guys lying in wait. Actually, I'll just trade them into the Giant Slayers. Seems good to me. Point is still not secured. Dwarven battles take 50 years. So even though these Thunderers are still alive, what are they gonna do? They're not getting the point anytime soon. I still have a ton of guys just holding up over here. And I'll probably just summon another Giant Slayer. I can also potentially make a play on these Thunderers too. I will say I am getting shot up like crazy though. The amount of shooting he's getting in here for basically free is kind of nasty. Though I foresee potentially another big push. He's a little exposed, right? And I think my Slayers can get in here too. And we're gonna have another Slayer unit also. Very important. And here comes the big rush. What are you gonna do? I have too many dudes. Oh, maybe some Slayers are gonna body block though. It's kind of awkward. Are they just gonna pass by each other? They might. Yeah, just phase through. It's okay. Slayer buddies. Slayer buddies to the end. Alright, very nice. These Giant Slayers over here will do great. How's my Lord doing? Pretty solid, pretty solid. We have some Iron Drakes about to blast my poor guys to death. But it seems like the rundowns are going well. We dodged the flamethrower shot. Insane. And I just need to stop these Giant Slayers from cooking me too hard. But that should be doable. A couple units are routing. Totally fine. I wonder if he's like running out of units to bring onto the battlefield. He might be. He might be. This is some good Thunderer play though. The question is, can they get this point? I think they barely have it right now. But they're gonna lose it once I get my infantry on the point. Ain't no way they manage to hold because I have a whole Giant Slayer showing up. And there's just too much ranged. That's the problem. The Dwarves. They're getting melee rushed. Though he still has a capture point. Surprise, surprise. Okay. I really did not expect them to have capture weight, but he still does. Insane. Kind of terrifying. Finally, though, the Thunderers are dead. And that's going to actually give us the value lead. A little bit too much desperation will set you back pretty hard. These Rangers have 700 gold value, so they paid for themselves. We'll use them to kill off the miners, or at least slow them down. Oh, man. They're pretty fun, though. We got to see both play styles. I love it. Ah, that's a Slayer unit. Okay. Now, he can actually kill my Lord here if I'm not careful, too, by the way. Gotta be a little wary. Garagrim, he's spinning. Yo, the Garagrim, he's actually kind of killing it. But, yeah, there's no way. Not with this last Doomseeker coming in here. They're gonna crush it. He friendly fired himself a little bit in the distance. Garagrim gonna die. Soon enough. There he goes. And that means capture weight is mine. A very decisive victory. I'm telling you guys, this is why this matchup is so fun. Because you get to meme. Dwarves are definitely one of the best factions for memes. Some people will go harder on the single entities, by the way, and it becomes even more of a free win. It's great. But yeah, he definitely runs out of time now. Unit of Doomseekers and Miners. They'll probably capture 1 point, and that's it. He's gonna summon a unit of infantry. I'll summon a unit of infantry. But if I wanted to, I could just hunker down on this point, and I'd be fine. And that's gonna be it. GG, well played. Very nice. Well, that was solid. That was solid. Solid run. GG. We have proven ourselves the superior dwarf. Oh man, dude, his Thunderers got a lot of shots off. Weirdly enough, they did not pay for themselves though. Well, they just paid for themselves. When a unit gets its full gold in value, because units rout and they crumble and so on, it means that this is actually quite good, but not good enough. Iron Drake's got some shots off. This initial Slayer Pirate really put him in a bad position. But yeah, didn't have a lot of good call-ins. So after these guys got brought in, it was just the artillery pieces, which is not optimal. Longbeards are just chonky. They're just gonna grind and fight forever. My axe throwers did pretty decent. Hope that they would have done better, but they were getting suppressed pretty hard. Weirdly enough, the miners did really well. And my giant slayers did great, obviously. Against mass range, they're just gonna catch units. They're gonna be guaranteed to get into a fight, and they're fast enough to not get shot to death. Some very good stuff. And Malachi and Garagrim, they got decent value, actually. But not enough. GG. Well played. Well, I believe that's the tournament then. A nice mini tournament where we get to enjoy some dwarf action. Hope you guys enjoyed. 5-1, not a bad situation, though we did lose to Dark Elves, Ponty. Drawn some blood, but certainly very fun. Can you help give me a little advice? I'm learning Beastmen, Brass Bull. How do you do sieges? For sieges and the zombie pirates, extremely wide formation is very awkward for my units. If you're playing a siege battle, they're kind of awkward. There's a lot of weird tips and tricks. With zombie pirates, if you just spam Ungor Herd, well, it is legendary. Or if you're playing on harder difficulties, it's gonna be bad. But if you just spam Ungors and Gores and just kind of walk into them with like a couple raiders in support, it's not too bad. The AI is also really bad at defending their range units. So if you're getting shot up a lot, you can just have some cavalry swoop into the back, sacrifice them. But they'll kill off the range and then you just get a melee fight. But I think undead in general, it can be a little tricksy. You can try spawn, I guess. Maybe spawn spam. I don't think that's a good campaign strat though. But yeah, the biggest thing is make sure you're not getting shot at too much. If they get multiple volleys on your units, you're doing something wrong. And for sieges, there's ways you can just cheese them. You can reposition your army and the AI will reposition. But if you do it faster, you can just knock down some gates. Or you just attrit them. You just sit there and just attrition them until you win. Beastmen have very strong single entities, so if you're playing Brass Bull, if you just get Toroks and like 2 Wargors, these guys alone can probably just kill off armies. You know, you put these guys on some chariots, they just fly around, bounce between the range units, and they're nigh indestructible in campaign if you build them right. That one's pretty good. But yeah, thank you very much. Amazing tournament. Thank you. Thank you. Many grudges have been settled, but more have been accrued. The book is never ending. But yeah, hope that answers the question. And I'm gonna dip. See you tomorrow, people, for some more Warhammer action. I have a lot planned. Hopefully I don't bite off more than I can chew. Peace.